By the way, I want to go ahead and clarify something just so that way everyone understands. I'm trying to be as measured as possible about this, but go fuck yourself and fuck you with the whole fake tears bullshit and trying to malicious comply, all that shit. Yeah, fuck you to have the nerve to try to play the victim while at the same time simultaneously trying to go ahead as a veiled threat and be like, if you don't put up with what I'm trying to put you through, I will auction you to the highest bidder of people that you've pissed off to see if they've got a shot to actually going ahead and being able to take you off this fucking planet. And my response to that is, yeah, you saw that Have I Been Pwned posting? Yeah. Um, those secrets that John Rizzo said needed to go to the grave, yeah, those are attached to the witness protection list as well as the special forces list. So, and ultimately, if things don't smooth out and like legitimately smooth out and a solution gets fixed, um, there's gonna be some shit like just that thread wire digitally and kind of just and it's gonna be pretty fucking messy regardless. So ultimately, kind of got strapped up to get set like a suicide bomb, basically. And the funniest part about this whole situation, because there is a funny part about it, ultimately, if people weren't trying to stoke fires, you wouldn't have to go ahead and be like, well, let's just see how high of a, betting pool that it can end up being. And it's like, hey, guess what? Name to me one person in the existence of history that will literally have you sitting around while the people that are supposed to be your family are going ahead and deciding what the numbers will be on auctioning you off to your fucking death. And if you personally, wouldn't feel like somebody's got some fucking nerve, which, by the way, if that witness protection list and that special forces list does come out, especially because of the factor that it's attached to the files of the entire record. All right, not only my medical records, but as well as the criminal records. Oh, can't forget the CPS records of how badly I got the fuck beat out of me my entire childhood. And also the correlation with that movie, Ron, also the new guy. We know this part, you know? Um, I don't think the part that y'all get though is there's going to be some shit coming out about the concept of war and kind of some images of things that would go so far past scarring a child that, to be blunt, how do I put it? Pretty much everyone on the internet and, in general society, we're kind of on a digital tripwire, all set up together, hoisted up, and, yeah, there's about to be a whole bunch of shit that ultimately cameras were not supposed to capture. People that could not handle the responsibility of being able to take those secrets to their grave without getting express delivery. You know, the ones that, the honorable ones that didn't make it back. Yeah, but it's really feeling like there's some witness protection breaches right now. and ultimately some attempts to go ahead and use my temperament as a barometer to try to sway a jury or tamper with a case. And the funny thing is, I have to hold on to everything that I got saved, because ultimately, if it was somebody with the right intentions for it that could go through legal means, they would have already brought it to the court, wouldn't be trying to avoid court, would understand the fact that in a court, they would be fucked. Like, royally fucked. And ultimately, Constitution says, you know, the accused has the right to be able to face their accusers. You know? So, I mean, ultimately, there are some things legally that people are going to not want to have to do, but they're going to have having to do if we end up going this route, you know? Or ultimately, it could end up going to, hey, you have been chosen for a express first class delivery to the deity of your making, of your choice, of who you believe. And yeah, it's oh, I know that there are some people having some fun with this, but at the same time, I know there are some people that are just doing some shit to basically use the mental barometer of my injuries to try to sway whatever legal complications that they have in their favor. Well, at the same time, too, if I had permission from anybody within the legal and judicial systems, heads up, to help rip the band-aid off after what I went through. It's feeling like somebody's trying to give me the opportunity to do that. Give me the chance to, seeing if I will, or see if I'm waiting for what the consequences of this situation is, despite the factor that, let's be real, with the amount of provoking that I ended up enduring, this is, it's pretty clear someone's trying to use me as a, I guess, tracking hound. Would that make sense? But, ultimately, unless they had the legal authority to be able to present to me, hey, we're somebody in official capacity that is trying to prevent anyone else from continuing on this type of situation. Because for the people that actually have the authority to look back, in those files, because keep in mind, closed CPS investigations, they get sealed after they're closed, But when you got a fat one, that literally fat, with all the evidence of what was endured, it would also be understood why this could be viewed as a witness intimidation, witness tampering, swaying a jury type situation. That ultimately, even if I wanted to not be a part of, I don't have an option, or it looks like I don't have the option of being able to not be a part of it without doing something that would break the law. But obviously the fact that I'm holding off on that. By this point, well, how long that somebody's been stoking that fucking fire, yeah, I don't see this ending in a excessive amount of force, even with a weapon. You understand my point? But I'm not going to keep keeping my hands to myself and accepting this bullshit. You know? I even said before, too, I'm done with your selective hearing bullshit. And if you don't fucking stop this shit, there really is going to be a problem. I don't understand why people try to say you could love somebody from a distance, or, hate the sinner, not, hate the sin, not the sinner, that shit like that. And it's like, when you keep trying to provoke somebody and trying to provoke the worst out of them, understand something. The same person that tried teaching me you could love at a distance for some reason is trying to do what's possible to prevent distance being put between. That's suspicious as fuck.